Hi, it's Michelle. Thought I'd take a little time tonight to make another video. It's rainy and cool outside, so I made some chili. And now I'm making cookies. Just not like me, but, you know, just decided not to go out tonight. Sort of staying in. Sort of nasty out. It's fall now, so figured I might make a little video. First thing I'm going to discuss is the Facebook friend requests that I've been getting. It's just really, really weird. The past, I don't know, just the past few days, it just seems like I'm getting all these requests from all these different guys that I don't really know, and they all seem to stem back to one certain friend. But anyway, I don't know, I just find it really, really strange that I'm getting all these Facebook friend requests from guys that I don't know. And I'm getting 20 to 25 a day, and that never happens. So it just makes you kind of wonder sometimes if, you know, if it's narc related or what. You really never know with these people, because, you know, they do stalk on social media. And I have a lot of unusual things going on Facebook, and it just makes you wonder. You know, you just never know, you know. And then we had the little hat episode last week. Him taking his hats to where I used to work to be cleaned. I don't know why you would want to do something like that when everybody in there knows who you are and what kind of person you are. But, you know, anyway, he's free to do whatever he wants, of course, but maybe he just really wants his hats cleaned. Who knows? But yeah, and then on Instagram, I'm getting this Hollywood actor. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a real popular Hollywood actor who just all of a sudden wants to message me on Google Hangouts. And I've told the man, you know, a few times that, you know, I'm not really into any kind of conversations or online friendships. You know, I'm busy. I don't have time for that kind of thing. You know, as flattering as it is to maybe think that he might be who he says he is, I highly doubt that. You know, I'm very skeptical in that way. I really don't think, you know, that there's a Hollywood actor in Hollywood, you know, that's traveling the world that, you know, has his choice of women, friends, and everything, just wants to speak to me here in Kentucky. You know, he doesn't know me from anybody, and he just all of a sudden wants to carry on a friendship and a conversation almost daily on, you know, on this hangout thing on Google. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I found that interesting, and today I just told him, he was, you know, sending me some messages, and I just told him, I said, look, you know, I don't really know who you are. You know, anybody could portray to be a Hollywood actor on Instagram, you know, and want to talk to you. So it's just, you know, I prefer just to not converse online. I don't have time for it. And he got sort of really insulted by that, you know, and told me I was acting like a child, that he thought, you know, that I was grown and I was acting like a child. I mean, so whatever. It's, you know, you got to watch out for people online, period. I think that's a breeding ground for narcissists. It's definitely a breeding ground on the dating sites for narcissists. And I just find it funny that, you know, online you get all these, I guess you would say, innuendos, you get, you know, friend requests, you get private messages even from people that you don't know. So I just, you know, I don't like to get into that much. If I want to get to know someone or have a conversation with somebody, I would prefer to do it in person. I mean, yeah, you might see somebody online that you went to school with, or you might have known some time ago, and you might plan on, you know, reconnecting with that person, and I think that's fine. I think that's a great way to use the internet, you know, socially, and keep up with your friends on a daily basis and things like that. Facebook, you know, is fun, and Instagram is fun, but, you know, you really got to watch out for, you know, predators on the internet, because usually, like I said, I, you know, dated 3 guys off the internet, and 2 of them turned out to be a narcissist. So I just find it funny, you know, that a Hollywood actor would even want to speak to me. It's not believable. It's not feasible, you know, and I don't believe it. I don't know who it is. It could be anybody. So let's move on to the other topic. Get off the internet topic. I was going to make a video about the revenge I took on the narcissist, but you know, after thinking about that for a while, I don't think that's a very good idea to put it out in public what exactly I did. You know, I was real careful about it. I didn't do anything illegal, by the way. You know, but you do, if you really, after everything you go through with one, you know, I can understand wanting to take the revenge out on them, because I had a huge problem with that, with the anger and everything that they leave you with. Like I said, they will do things to you that no other human being will do, and you will be left, you know, shaking like a heroin addict, and, you know, uncontrollably. You know, it could be for days, because they will emotionally destroy you on purpose. And you're left with all this anger, you're left with physical symptoms, you know, your life is basically, it's just not in a good place, and you want them to hurt just as much as they hurt you, because they just move on like nothing ever happened, you know. So, I'll just say this about the revenge. If you think you really need to do something to hurt the narcissist, you really need to think it through thoroughly, and you know, just, you know, don't use any names, you can't use any phone numbers, you can't use any addresses on your lost dog flyers if you put them out there, okay? Just saying, just be very careful about how you do stuff like that, you know. You certainly can't slander somebody online, you can't, you know, do anything to them on Facebook or anything like that. You know, and if you see their vehicle in the New Supplies driveway, you know, just don't do anything stupid. Just, you know, remember there's cameras everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. So, I mean, just, you know, really think it through. Now, there are some things you can do that more than likely you might get away with. But, you know, I wouldn't suggest doing any vehicle damage or anything like that. You know, just really think about it. Just think about it. If they want to rear their ugly head in front of you, you know, you know, that's a risk they're taking. So, if they want to stay in your neighborhood, that's a risk they're taking. After what they do to you, that's a risk they're taking. So, I'm just telling you, you have to be very careful. Very, very careful. There are some things you can do. Like I said, just, you have to be very careful about it. Think about it. Don't rush into it. And, you know, a lot of narcissists are breaking the law anyway. They're into a lot of illegal activities, so, you know, if you just wait for the right time and the right place, I mean, you just, and if you're going to do it right, because they can be pretty evil back. Let me just tell you that much. You can't just do anything to a narcissist. You can't poke a bear and not expect it to get angry, because it will get angry. So, that's why I said you really have to think things through. So that's just a little advice on the revenge on a narcissist. It's not really a good idea, you know, unless you have a good idea. And take the time. Just take the time. Don't rush. You know, and the best revenge really is just no contact, because, you know, that kills them in itself. If you're feeding something, just think, you know, if you're feeding a plant, or, you know, watering a plant, or, you know, it has to have you to feed it and water it. If you quit feeding it, you go no contact, you don't ever see it again, you never come back, it'll die. Narcissists have to have that attention. They want to know, even if it's negative, even if you hate them, even if you're cussing them out and you're threatening them, that is fuel for them. That is emotion. Any emotion you're showing towards them is fuel. They think, well, you know, she's upset. I must be quite the catch because she's so upset. The best thing to do is no contact. Like I said, you stop feeding them, they'll die. Somebody else has to feed them, you know, and I feel sorry for whoever that is, as long as it's not you feeding them. And, you know, that's going to hurt a narcissist more than anything else, because they want you to be upset. They want you to want them. They want you to contact them. Believe me, they do. So, you know, and just move on. Just, you know, like I said before, you cannot be their friends, because you'll be in a harem, and you'll be in a dumbass harem of a bunch of dumbass women who don't mind sharing a man or are just too dumb to figure it out. So, you know, you don't want to be in the friend zone. You can't be any contact whatsoever. If you go in the friend zone, they're just going to use you. Hey, kitty. What you doing, kitty cat? There's my kitty, Gemma. She's a pretty girl. I'll have to introduce my Jigger Bunny, too, because he's a cutie pie. I don't know where he is. He's probably under the bed. But, yeah, I mean, it's best just to, you know, don't be a part of the dumbass harem, because they're all stupid, dumbass women who, I mean, if they don't care, they don't know, and they probably don't have any boundaries, and they're probably gullible, and they just, you know, overlook at everything just like you did. You know, you don't want to be a part of that. I know, I don't. You know, get out there and meet new people and try new things. Oh, I've got to get my cookies out of the oven too. Bake cookies, you know, cook. Do stuff like that. It keeps you occupied. See? And they got a little brown because I started this video. Oh well, they'll still be good. But yeah, like I said, get out there, try new things, meet new people, put better people in your life, just hang out with your friends, reconnect with old friends, because they'll do that too. They will, you know, you'll lose some friends along the way when you're with a narcissist. They'll keep you separated from your friends and your family. So, you know, reconnect with those people, you know, and get your relationships back that are important, you know, with people who actually love you. You know, and you go on adventures, you know, just go hiking, go to the races. I mean, just hang out with your friends, go to events, go to, you know, fall festivals. I mean, whatever you can do, travel. If you can travel, travel. Travel's fun because it really makes you forget about your situation. When you can get in a new environment, I love to go to my mom's. My mom lives in Florida, so when I go down there, it's a whole new environment. You know, it really helps me to get my mind off of things, especially when I first, you know, was going through, you know, the breakup, the discard and all that, and I was going through some rough times. You know, going down there really, really helped. It just really, it really helped. And not everybody's able to travel either, because it does cost money, you know, and I'm not able to travel a lot, believe me. I wished I was. But that does help. Just putting yourself in a new environment, too, would help. Because I had to stay in the same environment, and it really hindered the time it took for me to feel better. Because you get in this routine with a narcissist, you know, and it's the same daily routine, you know, and it's probably, more than likely, it's your home. Because, you know, or it could be you all had a home together, or, you know, you were at their home. But, you know, if it's the same environment, it takes a lot longer. It's better to just get into a new environment if possible. Not always possible, though. But, you know, and then when you go on to do new things and you go on new adventures, it's fun because you don't have that anxiety in the pit of your stomach anymore. You're more or less free to think and feel however you want. You don't have anybody making you feel small and unimportant, and you don't have, you know, anybody, you know, you're not worried about, you know, what's going to happen next. Is he lying about this or that? Or, you know, you just don't have any of that anxiety after they're gone, and you're out, you know, trying to do new things, and you're having fun, and it makes it a lot easier because that anxiety's gone. And, you know, it's pretty important not to try to think about the new supply either. You know, because you just think when they're gone and they move on to this new supply and they're in this new relationship and it's all new, that they're happy and they're doing all the things with them that they didn't do with you. You know, and really, there's not anything farther from the truth. They might be or seem happy at first because it's so new and different. Yeah, sure, they're going to be happy at first. But they're not going to do anything new or different with the new supply. And they're going to lie to the new supply even worse than they lied to you, especially if you're involved in the situation. They're going to have to lie. I've seen it. So really, I mean, they're getting the same treatment that you got. There's nothing different. They go to the same restaurants. They do the same shopping routine. You know, it's the same routine. Completely down to him making the house keys, pulling up in the driveway, you know, using her house, using her just like he used me. There's nothing different. You know, they'll probably get treated even worse than you if you think about it, because, I mean, you know what they're doing. You know they're not going to be the only one. You know that they're going to experience everything that you experienced all the way down to what you saw on your body. They're going to experience that, and you know they are. So, and if anything, you should feel bad for the new supply. Because, you know, they're thinking they're more special than you. They're thinking that they're more special than anybody. They think that, you know, well, this man has finally, you know, I'm the exception to the rule. Just like what I thought. But you're not. You know, they're not going to... You have to realize that these people, the new supply, they're going to tolerate this behavior, you know. And the only reason they're tolerating the behavior, they've seen the red flags, you know, just like you have. You know, they have no self-esteem. They have no self-worth. You cannot care about yourself and let somebody treat you that way. There's no possible way you can. If you're overlooking everything and you're letting people treat you like that just to have somebody in your life, then you have some issues and you need to self-examine yourself. I had to. I have issues, you know, and it boils down to your own childhood, you know. So it's not completely the narcissist's fault that he walks into your life and ruins it. You know, you have to put some blame right here because you let him and you saw the red flags and you ignore it. So if you have no boundaries, you know, you're basically a doormat, you know, and that's the greatest fine for a narcissist. If you're a doormat, you have no boundaries, and you're lonely, and you want to be loved, and you feel like this person might be the one, and they're feeding you all the bullshit, and you're eating it, but you're seeing things, and you're feeling things in your gut that aren't right. You know, your boundaries, you're letting your boundaries be crossed. So, I mean, that's just the greatest fine for a narc. You know, it's just easy to manipulate people that are like that. I mean, there's just no other word for it. They're just easy to manipulate, and that's what narcissists do. And if they see that it's that easy, well, yeah, they're going to stick around. They're not going to go anywhere. So, you know, I feel bad for the new supply. I do not envy her. There is no jealousy here at all. None. I have to say, at first, you know, it was a little hard, and yeah, I was a little jealous, wondering, you know, what does she have that I don't, you know, why do they look so happy, you know, in all these pictures, and, you know, he didn't even do pictures with me, and that's another thing. Either they'll do a bunch of pictures with you and post them, or there'll be nothing. Like I said, with narcissists, it's one extreme or the other. There's got to be a motive behind it. And the motive being, you know, they're probably trying to piss off the previous supply if it ended up really, really shitty. So yeah, they're going to post some pictures looking as happy as they possibly can, you know. So just saying a little bit about that. You know, and if you decide, I mean, it's a choice. It's a personal choice. If you decide that, you know, you can't handle being lonely and you don't mind being lied to and cheated on and feeling small and being in a one-sided relationship, then you can live with a narcissist, but those are the rules that you're going to have to abide by. And there are no exceptions with a narcissist. So, I mean, I'm sure there are women out here who will stay with a narcissist just because they think there's nothing better in their life. You know, and they don't realize how much they're hurting themselves. I did it for 3 years. Okay, so I mean, and you know, after all of this, after the discard, and after, you know, you've decided that you can't live like that, you can't live by those rules, and, you know, you find yourself alone again and you want to try to get back out in the dating world, and it's difficult. It's very difficult because you feel damaged. I mean, you feel like a damaged person in every possible way. It's just you almost feel like a total failure because I don't know, it's just the damage that a narcissist leaves you with. It's your mind, your body, and your soul. They're all damaged at one time, and you're trying to go through everything you can do to repair it. And nobody's going to understand. And that's another thing. You can't go out on a date and, you know, bring up, you know, your latest relationship or, you know, whatnot. It's probably going to come up. You can't really bring that up, you know, how you've dated a narcissist and go into that entire story. I mean, it's a lot to tell in one sitting as it is, and probably they're not going to understand, and they might even think you're a little bit crazy, you know, or gullible, or have some kind of issue, you know. It's not something you can really go into. You'd have to get to know somebody before you can explain something like that. So, I mean, dating is difficult. And I just, you know, and a lot of men just approach you in so many different kinds of ways anymore. And one thing that bothers me is drinks. You know, they'll just want you to come over and have a drink. You know, and this is not dating online. This is actual, you know, meeting somebody in public or in the business world. They'll just want you to come over and have drinks. And I find it kind of hard to do that with somebody. I think that's a little bit, you know, I find it a little bit offensive because, you know, drinking on a first date, you're not really going to learn anything about the person. I mean, you might learn, I mean, yeah, you might get a little open and loose, but, you know, I'm not into that anymore on the first date. I don't do a lot of drinking, and I don't find it to be attractive to go just show up at somebody's house for drinks. You know, I would rather get to know somebody in I don't know, in other ways, you know. I don't want to get to know people, you know, in any kind of way that's not the norm. You know, I find like dinner or coffee or just good conversation to start off with, or a fun date, like go to the shooting range or go do something adventurous, or, you know. And it's a shame that guys never really ask you to do anything like that. It's hard to even find a mutual attraction, much less a date that doesn't involve drinks. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. And, you know, I became really reclusive after all of this too. I stay to myself a lot, and, you know, sometimes it's by choice. It's not that I don't want to hang out with my friends, and I do. I hang out with my friends a lot, and I've done a lot of fun things, especially here recently. But at first I was very, very reclusive, trying to get over all this shit. But I just find it that sometimes, like today, you know, I was invited to some friends to have some dinner, but I just decided to stay in. You know, sometimes that's just what I prefer. And I feel that, you know, when you do spend time alone, you get to know yourself a little bit better, and I think it helps your self-esteem, and it helps you to build boundaries. It helps you to figure out who you are and what you like and what you don't really like, and you know what you want. So alone time is not all bad. I mean, I guess too much can be bad, and they say that, you know, after narcissistic abuse, that is one problem that some people get into. They spend a lot of time alone, and it's not that healthy. But, you know, I find it to be healthy sometimes. It's better than being in a manipulationship, right? Alright, well, I guess I'll wrap up this video. Well, I've went on for 25 minutes, and I gotta get my cookies. So y'all have a good night. Bye.